Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today we're going to take this piece of maple and we're going to make it into something. And originally I was thinking of making it into a small table, but then I saw a video of a guy. He made a really large charcuterie board in a kind of a weird shape. So I thought, I like cheese and wine and salami, and I thought that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to create a shape out of this. I think the first thing we're going to do is surface both sides of this. Let's get started. The first thing I do is get it clamped down to my T-track and figure out. It's pretty lopsided at this point, so I really need to get it flattened out. So I get my my router and my planing sled, and I start surfacing it. And this works really well. The DeWalt router, you got to be careful of. It does get hot pretty quick, so don't make too deep of passes when you're doing this. Basically, I ended up taking about 1/8 of an inch off each side, and it flattened out really nice. I then drew out a shape that I thought looked cool, and I proceeded to cut it all out on the bandsaw. The bandsaw works, for a small bandsaw, it does a really nice job. It's a 14-inch grizzly. And this took a little while just because the position, it's such a big piece to try to squeeze in there. So I had to kind of make some multiple passes to get it all cut out. It did turn out fine though. And then of course, once I got the shape done, I was going to cut an oblong hole in the handle, but after I drilled this like 2 9/16 hole and I looked at it, it just looked perfect. I didn't feel like it needed any more. It looked like an old-fashioned meat cleaver with a hole in it. So I decided to leave it just like that and not try to make it something that it probably didn't need to be. And that's where I left that. And then I had the tedious task of sanding this whole thing because I don't have a planer and I don't have a drum sander. So I started sanding it with my 5-inch orbital sander, and it has dust collection, which is nice on it. But it just wasn't, the material, maple's pretty hard wood, and it just wasn't doing the job. So and it had some lines in there. So I took it and ran it through my Grizzly 6-inch joiner. I just had to take the safety off the joiner and run both sides through there so that it would flatten out. And that worked really well. Actually, it looked really good after that. And then I needed to do a little more sanding on it to get any lines or imperfections out of it. So I just kept sanding. And once I got it really dialed in where I thought it looked nice, and I was happy with it, I took off all the burn marks, and then I proceeded to put a quarter round with my router. And once I got it all routered, I then started to sand it again to sand off all the router marks and the burn marks from the router. I really hate sanding, but it's an evil necessity, so you got to do it. So once I got it all sanded, that pretty much is the end of the story. Put a little food grade oil on it, and you're good to go. And there you go, one charcuterie board, Outlaw style. This is a maple, solid maple, 2 inches thick, and I'm really liking it. Let's get some cheese and wine. Thanks for watching this episode of Outlaw Woodworking. Cheers. Hope you enjoyed. If you'd like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.